Your body is going to be renewed and restored. His perspective is what he's showing us, because this life is a drop of water in the ocean. If anything causes you to lose your inheritance, to lose your reward, and lose your salvation, your eternity, what good is it to gain the whole world? Prayer is contact between spirit and spirit, our spirit and the sovereign King, the Father, the Ancient of Days, who is and was and is to come, and his elect and righteous Son, Jesus, Yahusha HaMashiach, and his sevenfold Spirit, which then we are in contact with that very Spirit, and then it comes and indwells in us. How much does the Spirit fill us? Well, what did it say before? The more of this world and worldliness and the cares of the world and the lust of the eye and the lust of the flesh and the pride of life, the more of that is dumped out and emptied of us, then the more of his Spirit can fill us. I have not come to abolish the Torah, the law, or to change the teachings of the prophets, but to complete them, adding any necessary clarification and interpreting them to the understanding of men. See, he came to clarify it. Love your enemies, but not their faults. Love those who hate you, but don't give an inch to their wickedness. For the word of a godly man is more binding than the most solemn oath sworn by another. See, that's how we're supposed to be. Our words should mean something. See, the words do no good unless you put them into use with your character and with your gifts and with your talents. Use them to be the salt of this earth, to make it more tolerable, to make it good among people while we're in this age where there's death, pain, and sorrow, treachery, and envy, and jealousy, anger, and hatred, and strife. But we can make it so there's love, joy, happiness, peacefulness, goodness, faithfulness, kindness, self-control. We respect other people's rights of freedom as we enjoy freedom ourselves. And that's how he intended it. The evil wants to force you to do things, while the Creator, he gives us choice. So which one do you choose? Now, when evil is removed and corruption has passed away, then the good will come. People won't ask each other, hey, let me tell you about the knowledge of God, because all the earth will have full knowledge of the Creator. Unlike now, where deceit and wickedness has choked out the word and blinded people's eyes. We are doing it to establish goodness on this earth. We are to establish his kingdom right now, so that his glory can shine through us, and that now his name can be glorified, because his name is found in us. We carry his name. And that's why it says, don't take his name in vain. Don't take his name and then act like the devil, because that's giving him a bad name. Our Father, in spirit, may your nature become known among men, and may your rule be established on earth according to the heavenly plan, how it is already in heaven. That's how he wants this earth to be ruled. May your design be completed on this earth as it is already in heaven. Give us the sustenance we need, the food we need, and overlook our sins and transgressions as we overlook the faults and transgressions of others. Do not test us too severely, and lead us away from the evil one, and strengthen us against the servants of evil. I call you to serve no small of a cause, but to stand beside me and claim your inheritance. Those who dispute the claim are the ones I reject, and you must set your faces against them, even as I do. Come and inherit the incorruptible glory which is in heaven, even as flesh is on earth. The way is narrow and difficult, for no one who has not been tempted and tried can attain his reward. He that is near me is close to a blazing fire and may get burned. But he who withdraws from the heat withdraws from heaven. Some have said, the yoke of the law sits heavy on our shoulders. But I tell you, I come not to lighten, but to magnify the responsibilities. Moses taught the law, which says not to kill. But I say, any who releases anger on his brother without just cause shall not escape judgment. See, that is Jesus condemning racism and bigotry and not liking your fellow man for no reason, but things that are in your own mind. Now, if someone does something evil against you, you can be angry against them, and it's justified. But if you're angry and hateful and resentful against someone who has not done anything against you, better check yourself. The law you have condemns adultery. But I tell you that if any man even looks upon a woman with fornication in mind, he is no less guilty. For it is what a man thinks that will lead him to glory or decay. He who is pure in love does not defile his heart by looking at another woman with fornication in his eyes. The law says, No man shall put his wife away unless he gives her a bill of divorcement. But I tell you that whoever seeks to put his wife away, except for adultery, or is found unchaste, places her on a path of adultery, and is therefore not guiltless. What Yahuwah has blended in spirit, let no man seek to sever. But those joined in body and not in spirit are not sanctified. Sanctified means set apart, in his eyes, blessed, as one person. When the man and woman become one flesh in his eyes. The law says, you shall not swear falsely or break an oath, though if you promise something to the service of Yahweh, the pledge must be kept. I tell you never to swear any oath, but confine yourself straightforward to a yes or a no. It is needless to say any more, for the word of a godly man is more binding than the most solemn oath sworn by another. See, that's how we're supposed to be. Our words should mean something. And we should be set apart because of it, to where our word means more than, I promise, I'll do this and that, and this from somebody else. It doesn't matter what they say, because if you are not a godly man, then doubtless your word and oath would be worthless anyways. If your eye gives cause for you to sin, leading you toward lewdness or obscenity, pluck it out. It is of greater advantage to suffer disfigurement on earth than to be cast into the depths to suffer it there. If your right hand causes you for complaint, cut it off. For if your body be maimed on earth, you only deal with it for a little time, but surely do nothing to prevent it remaining intact in the place of glory. In other words, your body is going to be renewed and restored. And how much his perspective is what he's showing us, because this life is a drop of water in the ocean. So he's saying, if your eye or hand or something causes you to do wrong, get rid of it, because if anything causes you to lose your inheritance and to lose your reward and lose your salvation, your eternity, it's not worth it. What good is it to gain the whole world? But that might seem drastic, but it's not at all if you look at it from his perspective. And see, that's why people take it out of context, saying, oh, Jesus said to gouge your eye out and cut your hand off. Like, yeah, that's when men knowingly take out of context and say, oh, we don't understand, because their mind is deceitful and they're always looking for a cunning way around. So when they see the straight truth, they don't understand it. They can't deal with it. They don't know what to do with it. The Torah you have says, Torah means law, love your neighbors and hate your enemies. But I tell you to love your enemies and do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who deceive or persecute you. For if you give love for love, this can't be claimed as being meritorious, warranting reward, when even criminals return the love of those who love them, even the people who do wickedness. If you only repay good for good, dealing fairly only with those who treat you likewise, how can merit be claimed for this, which is no more than criminals do? It is the same if you give only to those who can give back to you, for criminals give to their own kind. Can you stand by and let it be said that criminals treat each other better than do godly men? Love your enemies,